This Sunday we celebrate Pentecost Sunday, the birthday of the church. And we hear in the gospel how the Spirit came in the form of a dove with a driving wind and settled on them in flames of fire, and they were empowered by the gift of the Holy Spirit. Those beautiful images, those moving images, remind us of the power and the potential the Holy Spirit has for us. And today as we celebrate the birthday of the church on that first Pentecost, let's never forget, Pentecost is an ongoing reality. It wasn't a one-time shot. By virtue of our baptism and confirmation and countless other times, the Holy Spirit is poured into our lives. But sadly, that's a gift that as Catholics, we don't always use very well. One of my favorite details about the Pentecost stories that we often forget is that prior to the Spirit coming, the disciples were locked behind closed doors out of fear. They'd closed themselves in because they were afraid. They weren't sure what to do. They weren't sure where to go. But after the Spirit, all that changed. The doors were thrown open. They went out into the street and started sharing with them the good news of Jesus. And think about it. This was the same group of fishermen and carpenters who were so scared that after the Spirit were able to take on the might of the Roman Empire. They were afraid of nothing because of the power of the Holy Spirit. And I think Pentecost challenges us to ask ourselves, what doors am I still locked behind? What am I still afraid of that the Spirit of God challenges me to step outside of, to step into the light? Maybe it's the fear of failure. Maybe it's the fear of being rejected. Maybe it's the fear of not measuring up. And those are all very realistic fears. But the Holy Spirit's there to strengthen us, to guide us, and to realize that we're not in it alone. The disciples and apostles dealt with fear prior to Pentecost. Once they realized the awesome gift of the Holy Spirit, they realized they could conquer those fears. Whatever fears we're struggling with, whatever fears are weighing us down, whatever fears have locked us behind closed doors. As we celebrate the Feast of Pentecost, let's remember we too have received that same Spirit, that same power to confront and with God's grace to overcome those same fears. So that like the apostles that we read about in the gospel, we too can go out into the world driven and inspired by that power of the Spirit that lives within all of us. Not a sermon or a homily, but just something for all of us to reflect on.